guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I got an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is my guy. He's in his early 30s, I guess 31, 32, something like that. And just recently, he is now divorced. He's now a free man after kicking his wife to the curb after, wait for it, he caught her hooking up with another guy. In his own home and in his own bed. And oh yeah, by the way, he put that guy in the hospital, but we'll come to that. And there's a lot of very important lessons in this story, which leads up to the big conclusion, is this, and ones you guys have heard before, but I'll say it again. You cannot rush into a relationship, particularly a marriage. More important, marriage. Lots of guys who, didn't get a lot of women when they were younger. They finally get to a certain age where they meet that pretty girl. She really likes them, or at least pretends to. They don't want to lose her because she's beautiful, and they race into a marriage without really getting to know her. And next thing you know, well, things happen. And also another very important lesson, and this is a very tough pill for a lot of guys to swallow because it goes against their belief system and narrative. Lots of women out there will marry a guy that they are not in love with, not attracted to, because they want a ring on their finger. They want a meal ticket. They're done, or shall I say, taking a break from riding the carousel, Chad and Tyrone, the HOE phase, and they find that nice guy, and nice guys are very easy to spot. A guy who can guarantee will provide for them a good living, will certainly marry them, won't cheat on them, and they use them. And then they either stay with them and have a family, or they just have fun with Chad and Tyrone on the side, or they decide to then divorce them after a while and make out like a bandit. This happens, guys. You must be careful. So, and I'm about to get to the story. Be patient, guys. So, if you are a guy that didn't get a lot of attention from women, and you get to your mid to late 20s, and you're starting to do well for yourself, and all of a sudden, certain girls are paying attention to you, you must be careful, because they can be looking for that nice guy, because let's be honest, you're probably a nice guy, and you may be taken advantage of. I can't stress that enough. The narrative says that just if you wait, she'll wake up and realize that those bad boys and jerks aren't worth being together with, and the good guy always wins. No, they don't. You got to be careful. So, starts us, says here, hello SSM. My attorney texted me a link to your channel regarding a story that he sent you about how his girlfriend dumped him and how he became a Marine. He said he might remember his name, Gaius, or shall I say codename Gaius. He suggested I tell you my story. He said it's a good one. Well, shout out to Gaius. I don't quite remember the story, but I do remember a codename Gaius and a lawyer and all that. So, hello, sir. Thank you for recommending this dude my channel. Well, I listened to the video and then became addicted to all your stories. So I will tell you my story. This is the reason I had to hire him. You can call my ex-wife Sarah. She was 25 years old when this happened, and I was 26. I met her at my church. She walked into a young adults get-together at my church to help singles meet each other. When she walked in, I couldn't take my eyes off her. She was wearing a black cocktail dress, had nice big brown eyes, brown hair, not to mention how amazing her body was, just exactly my dream girl. Hang on. She's wearing a sexy cocktail dress to church? Like, I know this isn't like the Sunday service, but I'm assuming it's one night on the property being held and everything, a mixer, a get-together, but still she's wearing that outfit? That'd tell you something. I am skinny, dorky, and probably a 4 in the looks department. I worked in the IT department of my company at the time and did well for myself. I did wear very nice clothes for work because my manager at the time told me to dress for the job that you want. I wanted to become an executive. I like that you're honest here. You're like, okay, I'm a 4. I'm dorky. I'm skinny. I'm that guy. And sadly, she saw you and was like, aha. She scanned the room, saw you, and was like, this guy might be a provider. Well, she came in and started to mingle with a couple of people that she obviously knew. She kept eyeing me, though, and I was guessing it was because I kept looking at her. Being shy, I knew she was out of my league, so I didn't even attempt to talk to her. However, she came over to me and asked if I recognized her. Okay, no, I don't recognize you. I'm checking out your ass. I said I don't think so, and as it turns out, we went to the same elementary school together in the early 2000s. I apologized, but said I don't remember her, but we started chatting, and I did remember some of the kids that she mentioned. So she gave me her phone number and suggested that we get together, and my heart skipped. I bet it did. You're thinking, yes, man, I'm having a good night. Glad I went to church. Now, this would be nice, But what's going on here? He admitted he's a 4. And he's skinny and he's dorky looking and all that. And all of a sudden, this pretty girl, who caught his eye, goes up to him and, okay, fine, they went to the same school. He can chit-chat about that. She gives him the number. All that suggests they get together. She's pursuing him. Wonderful. The problem is, clearly this doesn't happen to him a lot. And you connect the dots, his age, he's finding he's doing well for himself. She's looking for a husband. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if my cynical asshole self is right about this. Well, after my date with her, we took a selfie and I showed it around. People were happy for me to be dating such a beautiful girl, except my mother. My mother said to me, Tim, she is just looking for a meal ticket. You should listen to your mama. I warn you guys and caution you about listening to women, but sometimes they can give nuggets of good information, and a mama that loves her boy will be protective. I was hurt because my mom always had to have a snide comment to put me down when I was feeling good about myself. Okay, maybe you had reason not to listen to her. I don't know, but still, let's see if mom's right. At any rate, we started dating, and we talked about our pasts. No way you got the full story about her past. I never had you-know-what yet, but she told me that she'd been with a lot of guys, and I'm okay with that. Smack! No, you shouldn't be okay with that. And what defined lots of guys? I guarantee whatever she told you wasn't the actual number. Well, love struck, and I said, of course not. She wanted to initiate, but I said no. My virginity is very special to me, and we haven't dated long enough, and I actually wanted to try to save myself for marriage. Okay, if that's important to you, you're a religious guy and everything, great. The problem is you're a religious guy who's a virgin, and sex is very important to you, very sacred, but you're getting together with a girl who's been with a lot of guys, and the sex wasn't that important too. This isn't going to work. But because you're a virgin, and she's beautiful, and clearly you'd like to have a girlfriend, have a woman in your life, be married one day, you're looking past all that crap, as a lot of guys tend to look past things because, you may have been a virgin, you may want to wait, but I'm sure you-know-what down there was doing the thinking. She smiled, but I did say, I'll at least see your boobs. She took off her shirt, and needless to say, I couldn't hold back, so we made it very heavily, hot and heavy. I just thank God for the gift he gave me. God didn't give you that gift. I think somebody else gave you her. They're messing with you. But you got some motorboating done before, you got married. Well, after a year dating, I proposed. 1 year, smack. Again, who's doing the thinking here? Yeah, that head down there. She wept and enthusiastically said, oh, yes, of course. Yeah, because she's thinking, yes, this guy, I got to provide her. We got married a year after that, so I was 28 and she was 26. I lost my virginity that night and was so happy. Well, I'm happy for you. Good job. At the times that we had you-know-what through our honeymoon, she didn't seem really into it. Huh, how interesting. Isn't this the same girl who's so enthusiastic and she's not very into the sex? I'm glad you picked up on that. It seemed like it was a chore to her. Of course, I was really, really into it because this was all new to me. Well, we settled into our lives together, and I bought a very nice house in a gated community. For her birthday, I bought her an Audi. Smack! Dude, that's a bit much. Come on here. Is she doing anything to really deserve that? I try to be the best doting husband I could be. Smack! Dude, we all know, nice guy central here. I got no problem being a good guy to your girl, your lady, your wife, but is it reciprocated? I don't think so. She would be appreciative, but something was fading. After the I-dos, it seems like she didn't want to be with me anymore. I confronted her about it, and she just said that being a stay-at-home wife was boring. So I suggested that she got a job in my company. We didn't need the money, but I wanted her to feel a purpose. Smack! You should not be having her at your company. She can go someplace else. Things didn't get better at all between us, but she seemed to enjoy having an office to go to, and with her beauty and personality, she got along with everybody. Well, no kidding. She's a girl in her mid to late 20s. Pretty girl. Of course they like her at the office. Bro, man. I'm sorry this is going on, and we're not even done yet, but you learned the hard way. I just wish you should have listened to your mama. God damn. Well, one day, a teammate of mine came up and said that he overheard her telling another woman that she was friendly with that the maintenance man was a sexy bastard, and she didn't care if he knew it. I rolled my eyes and gave a smirk. It was not out of the ordinary to say that other men were good-looking, and I would not hold back saying women like Sydney Sweeney were sexy, so I didn't pay it any mind. Hold on. It's a night and day difference for you or any guy to say some celebrity or model or actress, Sydney Sweeney, is sexy and beautiful and all that crap, as opposed to your wife saying, Joe, the freaking janitor, or Bill, the plumber, who you know and see on a regular basis, is sexy. Do you see what I'm saying? You're not going to get together with Sydney Sweeney, I hate to break it to you, bro, or any other celebrity, but there's a likelihood that your wife can get together with, the plumber or the maintenance man. These are red flags you got to pay attention to. She said that, he says here, our sex life was bland. I wasn't experienced enough to know about foreplay and positions and all. I figured she would take command on that stuff and teach me how to be a good lover to her. But she never did, so I figured I was good enough. No, you weren't. And the man should always take the lead. Don't let her take the lead. But then again, you had no experience. But you could have done your research. She said she wanted to quit her job, that she liked the job, but wanted to be a stay-at-home wife and eventually a mom. I told her whatever she wanted to do, I would support her. So she's bored at home, so then you get her a job. Now she doesn't like the job, now she's back at home. There's no making this broad happy. Well, the sex stopped. There's a cliche. I would initiate, and she would just come up with excuses. I asked what was wrong, but she would say, nothing. I wasn't going to play that game or trying to pry something out of her. Then it happened. What happened? By the way, he's paying all the bills. He's buying her an Audi. She's a stay-at-home wife. No kids, nothing. Believe me, she should be effing him in the right way every freaking day. Every night. Well, I suspected something was not right. So I left for work one morning, but parked the car in my neighbor's garage and walked back to the house and stayed in the basement office with the lights off to see what was going on. Nothing happened that day, so I ordered some home nanny cams where the video can be downloaded to my phone. Boom. Well, the maintenance man from the work game came in and she jumped right into his arms. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. Guys, after all the things he was doing for her, he was doing all the things that a guy was told he should do. The narrative tells a guy, doting on your girl, treating her like the queen, put her on the pedestal, and you saw how enthusiastic she was when he proposed to her, and this is what he gets. This is why you can't buy into that bullshit. This is why you need to watch me as opposed to fucking rom-coms and shit, because it's all bullshit. The next thing I knew, they were frantically taking their clothes off and having, like a couple of maniacs. I was surprised and grossed out that the man had the gall to do that to me, to my everything. Smack! You just said my everything? Making your wife to be your end-all be-all of your happiness in this world? Are you nuts? I know you know now, but God almighty. Well, I left and went home. His car was still in the driveway, and when I walked in, she smiled and said, "What are you doing home?" I told her to cut the shit. I know you're effing the maintenance guy. She tried to gaslight me by saying I was crazy, and I told her I was not an idiot. His effing car's in the driveway. Either he's dumb as shit or just doesn't care. She tried to say that it was one of her friend's car, and I told her, stop lying, goddammit. Whoa. You're a religious guy, and you're saying that? You were done. I pointed to the camera in the room, and she collapsed on the floor and started to what you call the Tuscan Raider. I screamed for Tony to come out, and he came out of the room with a big smirk on his face. Yeah, because he's thinking, hey, this guy's a nerd. I can bang his wife in his own house. What's he going to do about it? He walked up to me and said, I F her the way you don't know how, and I left something for you. I marked my territory. What a piece of shit. That's when it happened. When every ounce of my anger, I clenched my fist and I hit that mother effer square in the jaw. Nice, dude. I'm picturing Back to the Future when Biff Tannen and George McFly, and he was taunting George, and George, got that fist, and before he knew it, he knocked Biff out. That's what we got going on here. So good job. He deserved it. Well, he did get knocked out, but something bad actually happened. He hit his head on the tile and was knocked out and put in a coma. Well, I would say great and all, but I'm sure some of you guys can guess what's coming pretty soon. His jaw was wired shut too. Sarah screamed for me to stop. My look must have made her terrified because she called an ambulance and ran into the room, locking the door. Oh, let me guess, she's in danger. She's effing this guy in your own house. He's banging your wife. He's insulting you. You knocked him out, which every guy has a right to do. And she's in danger. I calmly sat down at the table. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me upset. I was calm through the whole next events. Of course, the police showed up, and I was arrested and charged with aggravated assault. That is the biggest steaming pile of crap. You got all the evidence on the cameras. This guy in your house, banging your wife. I'm sure the cops actually the cops, knowing this, probably didn't want to do that, but they have to. The law is fucked up. So I hired Gaius, the lawyer. I started divorce papers, but he suggested that we go to marriage counseling first, because it would show that I put a good faith attempt to solve the problems first. It would also look good for the judge. Well, listen to your lawyer. At the counseling, the counselor asked her what caused her to want to have an affair. Oh, for goodness sake, can't wait to hear this. She said that, I love him, I really do, but I just thought I was going to be an old maid. I saw the guy, and he just lit a spark in her when he looked at her. Well, she lost control. I'm so sorry, I didn't want this to happen. I'll do anything to make it up. I asked about all the sex stuff that she did with him. Her response was that she knew how Christian I was, and she was afraid I would think she's dirty. Well, come on here. You hear that all the time. Believe me, the guys want to get down and dirty with their girl. I scoffed and told her that that was absolutely the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. Well, you're not alone, man. Did she think I was an idiot? You married me for the easy life, and my mom was right. You were just looking for a meal ticket. How dare you fucking disrespect our marriage by being a WHORE and lying to me? I was so mad I got up and stormed out of there. That was the only session. Well, so much for the counseling. Well, I went home and went into a side room in my basement that had a fridge, bar kitchen, and I was going to stay there. She took an Uber home and asked if we can talk, and I told her no. I cannot even stand to look at her. She said she was so guilty and she would be willing to do anything to make it right. All this stuff from the Hobag handbook. She knelt down and started to remove my belt. Oh God, it took every ounce of my patience not to smack her. And probably something else. I told her to get out of my fucking face and turned around. She screamed that she was bored in our relationship and wanted to feel again. Hey, she chose to marry you. She knew, no offense, she knew exactly what she was getting into. She wanted a meal ticket, just like your mom said, and that's what's going on. Of course, pretty much insinuating that it's your fault that she cheated. No accountability. Well, I just kept walking away. My lawyer told me it would be best if one of us left. Since I was the only income, I had to pay for her to live in an apartment. Ridiculous. She begged and pleaded to forgive her, but I did not even acknowledge her. I just said as I walked away, you made the biggest mistake of your life. Good for you, man. You know what? You absolutely acted in ways that we all want to smack you early on. But now you're handling yourself like a man. And, bro, that guy who you clocked in the house and had to have his jaw wired shut and went in the coma and all that, he had it coming. I'm impressed. Unfortunately, you got arrested and all that, but still, every guy here knows that he had it coming. And frankly, I think the police officers on the scene knew he deserved it, but they're following the law. But, yeah, you're doing exactly, she probably thought eventually you would cave and give in. I went to my pastor and told him everything. He said that he understands, but that Jesus told us that we must forgive 70 times 7. I stared at him and asked, how can he say that? He suggested that I go to therapy because this was out of his league. No, Pastor, I've already been to therapy. That didn't quite work out very well. Well, my lawyer called me and said that he spoke with the DA on the case. And he wanted to get it thrown out. The DA heard the story, what the guy set up marking his territory, and me punching him out. He laughed about it, said good for him, but I can't drop the charges because the amount of damage was just too much to let it go. I'm going to guess that your lawyer is being truthful, and he knows the DA is a lot of, obviously these lawyers know different ADAs and everything like that. And maybe probably the DA probably thought he had it coming, but still, the law. I felt like I had lost 3 times. The affair, having to pay for her apartment, and getting charged for manning up. He did offer a lesser charge of simple assault, 11 months and 29 days of probation, with it to be removed if I complete anger management and probation with no problems. I took the deal. Good, I'm glad you took the deal. That part was over with. Also, there was no restitution for medical expenses. At least I won that part. Well, that's good. Well, she came over with her mother one day to get some more items. With the court case over with, I was better now that I knew that was over with. I felt less angry. She asked if we could talk. I said that there's nothing that we could talk about. You ripped my soul, my ability to trust, and my dignity. You made me feel like I was the luckiest man alive, but looking back, you didn't love me. You tolerated me for an Audi. I started to cry, and I said, look, stop it. I don't care anymore. Just go away. Bro, I respect that you're honest here. You know, you're admitting, you're human. The tears came out. Ideally, you don't cry in front of a woman, but sometimes shit's going to start, and at least you got out of there. She then said that she misses me, that she got complacent with life because she was bored. I told her that she was an idiot if she thinks I believe her. You were selfish in bed, and when you were with him, you were like a maniac. I cannot get that image out of my head anymore. You did, however, awaken the sleeping giant in me that has been dormant my entire life. So now the divorce is final. I lost half of everything. She got a lot of money, is probably effing that guy, and I'm just left with bitter resentment. Nice guys do always finish last. And unfortunately, that's the end. Now, I can hear it all around the world right now, the moaning and groaning, say, what the F kind of ending is that, SSM? Where is the revenge? Where is her getting what she deserved and all that? Well, guys, it doesn't always work that way. However, I want to say a few things here. This guy obviously has gone through hell, but he's still young. And, sir, yes, nice guys finish last. But you have the choice now to go on being the nice guy you always been, or to be born again hard. You are in your early 30s. You are a guy on your grind, a hard worker, a smart guy. You're moving up in the world. The money she got out of this divorce, her half, could be a drop in the bucket of what you can earn over the next 10 years. I don't know what you had prior to this. You obviously were doing very well. But here's the thing, and I guarantee this right now, that you guys should listen to. I guarantee you, what the half that she got, she's going to piss away real quick. Because by and large, most women, not all, but most are really stupid and irresponsible with money. They'll spend based on their emotions. I wouldn't be surprised if she keeps shacking up with this guy or some other Chad and Tyrone with no job, no income, and will piss it all away on him and be broke. And will come back to this guy looking for a second chance when she's broke. And also, she's now probably 30 years old, getting close to that. Her options aren't going to be, it's not going to be easy as it once was for her. She may try to get other guys, she may be successful, but it's just not going to work out well. You, sir, learn the hard way, but you learn relatively young. Your prime is just beginning. So, I want you to continue on the guy that you were in terms of the work ethic, the grind, the ambition, and really make something of yourself, whether it's the company you're in or someplace else, to move up in the world. And every time you might be feeling complacent or just want to say, I'm happy where I am, think of you taking the hit. Success is the best revenge. So I want you, and all guys that may have a similar story, to learn from this. Rewire the bad programming that you had growing up. You don't always have to be the guy you always were. Okay, do you understand that? You're young. Trust me, you're young because you're way younger than me. You have an opportunity to start over, a clean slate, and take all the hardships and the hurt and turn around and be born again. That's what the religious folks want to say, born again, except born again in a different way. R-pilled. A lot of people hate the R-pill, but let's be honest, it's necessary. And it saved many a guys. Work your butt off, work smart, work hard, make sacrifices to get where you want to be, and you will have the last laugh in life. You don't have to be like the guy you were before. I don't want you to turn into a scumbag or an a-hole, You can turn into an a-hole with a little a. I got no problem with little a-holes, but I want you to don't turn into these Chad and Tyrone types. And I guarantee you, in time, she's going to come back. Because they always come back. That's a theme in this story. When things go bad, they always come back. She'll think in her mind you're the same old guy. And you'll take her back. Now, you'd think that she might not do that because of how you obviously handled it well. When you were done, you were done. But she'll still come back. And down the road, who knows where you may be. And if you eventually want to have a family and all that, which a lot of guys do, I want you to take everything you learn from this experience and use it. You don't rush into relationships. You take your time to get to know the girl. If your mom is telling you that this girl is with you for a meal ticket, you listen to her. All these things, and don't make the same mistake twice. Don't make your girl your whole thing, your everything. Your prize. Putting them on the pedestal. That is the worst idea it can be. Women marry guys for what they can provide, and you saw that, and you learned the hard way. But it isn't over. So, bro, that's what I have to say about that. So it's not over for you, and please do let me know if there's anything new down the road. Because I'm willing to bet you, maybe not now, but 6 months, a year, she's going to be back. And when she does, let's hear about it. I guarantee all the guys want to hear about it. So, guys, if you want to hear more, if there's more to tell down the road, let them know. And a year from now, I guarantee there's going to be another video. So, bro, take it one day at a time. You're going to be okay. And just put all that frustration and hurt and anger, disappointment into your goals, your grind, all that. And you're going to have the last laugh, I promise you. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.